What is going on? It's Devin here. We're breaking down the pre-merge of Survivor Wisconsin Season 4 Evolution. I got 4 of the 5 pre-merge eliminated players joining us, so this should be a good time. We're going to talk about what all went down, what they thought of their journey, what they thought of what went down after now watching the episodes of stuff they might not have seen. So we're excited to see what's going to happen with that. So let's get them in here, see how it goes. Episode 7 will be Thursday night at 6 p.m. The merge is starting. Get pumped. It's playoff time in Survivor Season 4 Evolution. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody at Idol Identifiers. We're joined with 4 of the 5 people that were not able to make the merge in our latest season. Hope you all have been enjoying it. We saw a newcomer, Maddie, really emerge as someone that was really better at the game, I think, than people that were playing with her thought she was, and she really impressed. And then we had Mike and Alex playing in back-to-back seasons, and Alex just short of the merge, and
Again, yep.
And Michael right here just short of the comeback challenge against Matt, coming down to the wire. Richie obviously came back as well, did not go well, unfortunately, once again. But yeah, I mean,
when does it ever go well for me?
Huh? Yeah, so this season I was excited that we were able to get, a really good mix of like some older players that are really good, some newer players that show a lot of potential, and some players I've never played before. So it was cool to get all that going on, and we'll start things out with the first round. I mean, Tyler's not here, but Tyler's tribe, which had Michael on it, they lost the first challenge. Colin and Christian just couldn't find that second bag in the sand, kind of costed them it. And basically what went down at Tribe Toa, which it was that voted Tyler off, was a lot of them thought you found an idol mic under the picnic table for some reason because there was tape under it. It was not there, and you did not find one. What's your reaction to seeing them all think the whole first round, they're like, yeah, I think Michael found an idol?
Yeah, I was so surprised by that. Just so unfortunate that the tape was there because, yeah, I wish I would have found one. I mean, had I found one, I probably would have played it that first round because I knew that people were suspicious of me, probably wanted to flesh one out. But I was surprised, like, rewatching it, that, like, even the people that ended up saving me and kind of voting with me still thought I had an idol, like, after that round and stuff.
I know, and it was funny when you got swapped to the other tribe. I remember it was kind of hard to hear it maybe in the episode, but at the other picnic table, at the other tribe, there's tape under the other picnic table, and Christian thought there's something there. I'm like, there must have been just someone at that picnic area that had a party and they left tape there because I didn't use any tape to hide the idols.
So, that for sure fell for it as well when I was on the Toa tribe for like 5 rounds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I for sure thought that there was like because it was still sticky tape, like it was still like newly taped. So I was like, okay, yeah, for sure someone has an idol there, but I was wrong. It was Crystal the entire time that had the idol.
Yeah,
from Toa.
So yeah, it was just unfortunate Tyler going out there 4-2-1. I mean, from what you heard and were involved in, Michael, like why was it kind of Tyler? Was it just you guys kind of wanted to get him, Matt, or Chris out, and it just ended up kind of being Tyler?
Yeah, I didn't really it's so hard the first round to vote someone out, so I wasn't gonna name a name or anyone.
Yeah,
and I didn't really have anything for or against Tyler. I think it was Emma that just mentioned she didn't even say Tyler. She said other people were saying Tyler, so then I kind of just latched onto that and figured might as well. Yeah. First round, just if you hear a name, might as well just go for it as long as it's not you.
It's really tough because I feel like in most of our seasons, whoever goes out first, there really isn't a real validating reasoning unless something really goes down, which hasn't happened. I remember in our first Survivor Wisconsin season, the first person out on his tribe was the guy that found an idol and showed everybody. So that kind of, for Adam Carr, kind of ruined that himself. But yeah, I felt bad for Tyler. I was excited to see him back again. It was kind of a funny character in season 3, but fortunately he did not make it back in the comeback. But moving on to round 2, we were still on the original Tribe Toa and Tribe Aia tribes. Came down to the wire. Michael and Matt. Michael got the dub for his tribe, didn't have to go to tribal. So then Alex, Maddie here, and Richie all lost a challenge where you guys had to solve those riddles, and then you had to balance the white things on top of each other. And man, that was just a chaotic lot of strategizing. I loved it. It seemed like Alex, you, Richie, and Maddie, and
Yeah.
Nate had a four-way alliance, and I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
Hunter, Zach, and Hunter, Zach, and Cody were in trouble,
Cody.
but
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of unaired stuff that didn't pop up on the actual episode. So I was on a journey at that episode, so I didn't really have a lot of time to communicate with people. So coming back from that, hearing my name being thrown out first from Hunter, I was like, okay, let me figure out what happened when I was gone. So, and then Hunter told me that it was Richie. I was like, okay, let me talk with Richie and see
That's
who
bullshit.
can. Yes, so we can see who we can pin it on to hopefully keep me and Richie safe.
Yeah, well, what happened was that, the minute we got back to camp, Nate was, I think it was Dakota, drugged Nate off to do a confessional, immediately. And you were on a journey, and then Hunter's like, so it's Alex or Nate, which one do you guys want? And then he kept pushing for Alex, but it's like, Alex or Nate, which one do you guys want? And I'm just kind of I'm sitting there because it's obviously, I mean, nothing against Nate, but it's if something happened, I would have preferred you staying in over Nate if the worst happened and it was one of us four. But apparently me campaigning to keep you in is what apparently got the ball rolling. Because I know Zach already apparently didn't want me around. He kept trashing me the entire time too. He's like, he's holding us back and challenges guys. He's not doing good. I'm like, the fuck do you mean? I solved 2 of those riddles. I dug around and stand. What did you do, Zach? You threw a bag in a fucking bucket? The fuck you mean? The biggest layup in fucking Survivor Wisconsin by far says that I'm weak at challenges. Fuck the hell on all Zach. Honestly, it's annoying. And then literally, I promise I'll stop after this. But
yeah, I mean, it did kind of seem like it seemed like you three here and then Nate were kind of on board to go for Zach is what I remember was kind of the name.
Yeah, I threw that out at first, I believe. Sorry, I was just saying, I threw that out first because I was thinking Hunter and Cody there was a good chance I could try to not rekindle old alliances with them, but try to work something with them. And Hunter basically came up and told me that flat out, he was all this was right before I went off to do a confessional. He flat out told me hey, well, I'm throwing your name out. It's something like what he told me. And I'm just sitting there, it's why are you throwing my name out? Because Hunter somehow found out weeks before that I was going to be competing with him in Evolution. And he wanted to make this huge alliance with me for several weeks before. And he's all I'm not going to backstab you. I'm not going to betray you, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go to the end together. And then round 2, he's like, oh, I'm throwing your name out. I'm like, the fuck do you mean?
Yeah,
I swear, shit was insane that round. So
that was the.
Go ahead, Alex. You're good.
The most chaotic, the most chaotic part for me on that episode. It was just how can I pin this off of us and try to go apply for Zach at least. But what I think wasn't aired was me. Well, it was kind of partially aired. It was me and Nate going to Cody talking about, hey, we might have the numbers to put this on Zach. And he came to us saying, "Is it Zach?" And and then we said, "I don't know," because I didn't know if he was trying to pin it on me and saying, because I know those 3 were kind of tight together. So I think he was just trying to get info from me to try to pin it back on me if we were going for Zach. So I had to put it back on Richie just because I didn't want to get voted off first.
Right.
I mean, second. But yeah.
I think,
and also, God.
I was gonna say maybe if you 3 and Nate had one more quick conversation, maybe it would have changed.
Yeah, the biggest thing is Maddie was doing a confession when I came back, and I didn't have enough time to talk with Maddie, so I couldn't really strengthen that number. So, and I didn't even talk to Maddie after my journey either. We went straight to tribal basically, and she was doing her confession for a minute or so. So I didn't really have enough time to talk with her. So I sent Richie to talk with her. I think Richie just said go with Alex probably.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
here's what happened. I'll actually open more into this because I was about to mention this too. The only reason I ended up flipping to vote you instead of Zach was because the last second Hunter went to talk to Maddie right before we went to tribal.
Oh, okay.
Right when I went to talk to her, she was talking to Hunter, and I think it was Cody, I believe you were talking to as well, Maddie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Hunter and Cody?
So for me, I was kind of conflicted. So we had an alliance with Richie, Alex, and Nate. And so, like, the names that were being thrown out was Alex, I think maybe Richie, and Nate, and it was difficult for me because the names that were being thrown out were, like, other people on the Alliance. So then, I believe when Hunter went to talk to me, he was either talking Alex or Richie, and I don't know, like, before this, I knew Richie out of all the people there, like, the best. And, I don't know, I guess I thought at that point that the majority was Alex, and that's what I ended up voting for. And also it was the first vote, so it's also kind of hard to gauge, like, okay, if the person that we're voting for really needs to be voted off, or, like, for what reasons would they be voted off for. So it's kind of, the main part for me was the names being thrown out are all people in the Alliance. I have to, like, decide who's going to be cut, basically.
Yeah, I mean, and Maddie, when she decided you, Alex, it was essentially, from what my perspective was, I knew Hunter, Cody, and Zach were aligned, and I think that was an obvious alliance, but, when they basically, I had a feeling they were going to stick together and vote you, and once they got Maddie to vote against you, obviously I didn't really fully know that first part. It was me or you down to it. I thought there was a chance we could have both stayed, but once she was going to vote you, I was like, shit, there's absolutely no way whatsoever that I can, like, not vote you and have us both stay in. At that point, I'm like, I'm fucked then. If it's like you or me, essentially, at that point, I'm like, shit. Like, I even looked at Hunter. As we sat down to tribal, I was pissed at him. I looked at him, I'm like, fine, you fucking win. I'll vote him off. And he knows I was pissed about that, because I did not want to do that, so I was really pissed. I'm still annoyed, low-key, about it, so.
Yeah. Plus, like, the craziest thing is, me and Nate were going to vote Zach, and then Nate said, are we still with Richie? And then I literally had to say, yeah, because if we vote, it'll be 3-2-2, and that would be more chaos. But we didn't know that there was going to be a tribe swap.
Right.
But I was thinking,
chaos is good out.
So I was like, defend myself against Hunter and those three, thinking, oh yeah, we were just, because we would have been screwed anyways if there was no tribe swap.
Yeah, because then I know, I can't speak on Nate on this, but I'm assuming it's kind of the same thoughts as you, Alex, where you guys just played in the season before and you guys a little bit struggled to make the merge, and I think, you know, you're playing with some big threats like, you know, Cody and Hunter right away, and you did with Corey, and you guys tried to make something too early, and you kind of got screwed for that. So is that kind of partially why too, a little bit?
Yeah, and this time I didn't want to try it for a big name like Hunter and Cody, because I did that with Corey. Because I'm not sure if everybody else knows about that season, but I was the one that pinned Nate and Corey against each other. So yeah, that was me that did that, and I'll take all my credit for that. But yeah, I didn't want to like do that again, and I just wanted to say low this time. I think it was on camera. I said, yeah, let's just keep it low and kind of work my way out. I did it pretty good with keeping it low, but I got voted out anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Richie, it was just unfortunate. I mean, I made those tribes, and I know you sometimes seem to be like the default first vote off in your tribe, and I really thought that was the best tribe for you, and you did seem like you had an alliance, and it just didn't work out, and
we tried so
tough.
hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, I really did not want to vote for you, so like,
It was just so
Alex.
much chaos. Like,
Yeah, there were just so much different factors that played into that went the other way. Like, if I was, because if I didn't go on the journey, we would have more time to talk. If Maddie didn't have that confessional at that point, we would have talked, and then it was just all just like bad luck, basically.
Yeah, it was also just timing too. Was at a negative or like a consequence of trying to figure out who to vote for and really talk to people and solidify and be confident in the votes.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think many of us could have fully predicted that Zach was gonna, like, essentially hate me right off the start. Like, a lot of confessionals he had was just him bashing me, and I'm like, dude, like, what the fuck did I do to you? Like, I'm an innocent man. You're like, oh. I also want to give major props to Tyler. I know he's not here right now, but the fact that he had to put up with me on Redemption Island for that long, I give him major props. I give him major props, because me and him were both so bitter. Like, there was a couple
watching that episode, though, it was just
honestly laughing like the whole lot that didn't make it to air. I'm gonna say that, and I'm grateful some of it didn't get aired, because I was an asshole in it. Oh my gosh. Like, me and Tyler had a clip where we're, like, suntanning on that picnic table. And we're just like, let's kick them all into a fucking gorge. Fuck everyone. Like, we were so mad. We were making, like, some I forgot. I have to ask Tyler to send me these clips too, because he never sent them to me directly. But
yeah, I didn't put that in the episode.
So funny. Yeah, it was so funny though. Like, it was so fun. I loved the redemption episode too. That was a really fun one. Thank you.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you went out there, and then we had a pretty early tribe swap. Then when there's 12 people left to swap it up, it went an even swap 3-3. And then, Mr. Michael, you get swapped with the two guys you were kind of targeting in Matt and Christian. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, because then you guys ended up losing that third challenge where you guys did end up voting Matt out. Matt's back in the game right now. He's made the merge in the comeback challenge. But yeah, Maddie and Michael were on that tribe where that vote was chaotic too when you guys got Matt off, because I remember Matt was really pushing to get Hunter out. Like really badly, and I know you Michael were like, I don't know, you were pushing for Matt. So if you two both of you guys want to briefly just talk about that round a little bit, if you remember some of it.
Yeah, like before the swap happened, like Matt came to me and said that Christian wanted me out. Christian came to me, said that Matt wanted me out. So I didn't trust either one of them. I wanted them both out, and so Matt came first and said like, hey, let's get Christian out. And so I kind of like talked to some people, like telling them, and said like, all right, let's like vote with them, get Christian out, and then like next round let's just get Matt out after that. And so that was kind of the plan if the swap didn't happen. And the swap happened, and it's like the two people I didn't want to be on with the most I go with, because I felt like they were the two kind of most dangerous strong players. So yeah, that whole round when we voted Matt off, I was really conflicted because like I wanted to get kind of surprise someone, because it seemed like, you know, everyone was kind of like going for Maddie like initially, and then people kind of went like, oh, hold on, let's like kind of use this as an opportunity to like blindside someone. And so like some of the group was saying, hey, let's go for Hunter, and then I was kind of pushing more Matt, and I was okay with either one. But I was kind of leaning more towards Matt, and I was ready to vote Hunter because I didn't think we had the votes to take out Matt. And then, like, literally as we were walking to Tribal, I don't even think we got it on camera. Like, I had a really brief conversation with Christian where I got him on board to vote Matt off, and then it just happened. I think I gave Maddie, like, a thumbs up signal because I had a plan of, like, we'll vote Hunter if I don't say anything, but if I give you a thumbs up, that means we'll vote Matt.
Honestly, at that point, it was like a last minute switch because I was down to. Well, I kind of was in the same boat. Like I was down to vote Hunter or Matt, and then I was kind of just waiting on your signal to go. If it was for Matt, I think he was kind of really aggressive, which is I think that can be a very good thing. But when you're kind of controlling the votes, it also kind of puts a target on your back that. Are you going to do that for every single round? And it won't really give a chance for other people to try and make their own moves in the game.
Yeah, do you think, like, Matt's back in the game now, and obviously no spoilers because the viewers are still seeing what ends up happening, but do you think, like, why you guys were, like you just said, kind of going for Matt there was he tries to go way too aggressive way too quickly and doesn't just try to let it flow a little bit? Or do you think if he didn't even do that, you guys still would have maybe targeted him? If he just, like, came there and didn't bring up going for Hunter or Christian right away, it might have been different a little bit?
For me, it probably would have been different. I think because he was really pushing it, that it kind of put a damper on his character. Like, it kind of put a negative viewpoint on his character. And I forget who mentioned, I think it was Hunter mentioned in the video, like, once everything was filmed, that he could be a snake. Yeah. That he can kind of, like, turn around. And I don't think I heard that. Like that wasn't spoken to me, but I kind of could sense that a little bit from like the interactions and how he was kind of like going to group and basically trying to explain why we should vote off Hunter and not go for him.
Yeah, I mean, is that kind of the same with you, Michael? Like with him like bringing up Christian so quickly on the other tribe that I kind of be like, all right, I don't trust him, or did you already not trust him going into it?
I mean, like for me, I play a little more subtly, and like I've just noticed, like in the past, like it's always the people that play really aggressive and have like really strong personalities, like that tend to make it. Like it's always at least like 1 to 3 of those people that make it, so they're always a threat. And so for me, it's like I want to get like kind of the big fish like that out of the way. So to me, it's like all those people like that, like Christian, Matt, Hunter, like I have a target on them just because of how they are, because I know that they're strong and they can make it to the end. But with Matt, I also heard from Christian that like he wanted me out, but then, you know, Matt was saying vice versa. So it was mainly because of that I didn't trust him. But I think like even if I wouldn't have heard that, I still probably would have been gunning for him just because I could tell he was going to be a problem.
Yeah, we'll see if he learns in the merge or not. But moving on then to the fourth challenge, where same tribe ended up losing. So Alex, you were just sitting pretty on the other tribe, not having to do anything. You guys kept winning. Well, you guys kept winning those you know, the third and fourth round on your new swap tribe Toa. It was tough. No, there wasn't a lot of footage of you guys over there, and there's some videos you guys can tell that the wind just like took away everybody whispering and stuff. You couldn't hear anything that was going on really. But was there any like really conversations you can remember during those rounds that stood out to you that maybe affected stuff later on?
Yeah. So we kind of knew on that tribe that Colin and Emma were close together. So it was just me. I think it was me, Chris, and Zach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think it was those three. We were trying to think of just something like maybe we can form something come merge, but there really no talk. Really, it was just like having the people come back from the journey and say, "Hey, what'd you get?" And like just talk about who would be going home that round. There was really like no really big talks. There was still a lot of idol hunting because we kind of knew that maybe no one had that idol at that camp.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was really no talk about.
Now did you see Chris find it? He said when he found it.
No, I didn't. That's funniest part. I did not see him find it. Yeah. I kind of know where he found it though. Like it was kind of by that. Yeah. I kind of knew where he found it, but I didn't really see him at all. Like actually grab it. So.
And I know a funny moment at your tribe that didn't get filmed because Kyle like wasn't filming at the time. I was kind of mad at him for a second. Was when Emma came back from the journey, she got something which we saw get played, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But when she came back from that journey, like I just heard that she lied like really poorly, and it was like kind of funny. So do you kind of remember that, Alex?
Yeah. So you know, I got a sheet saying sorry nothing, same as Christian, but not a lot of people got that sheet really. So we were saying like, hey, did you get the sheet saying sorry nothing? And then she said no, I had to go do a challenge for it. And then she didn't show anything. So I kind of knew she had something at that moment, but I'm not sure if anybody else really caught on. I think she told Colin about it, but yeah, me and Chris were really talking about like, yeah, she for sure has something.
So do you think if you guys would have went to tribal one of those 2 rounds, your tribe, like do you think Zach would have swayed with you and Chris more, or do you think you would have went with Cody, Emma, and Colin? Because
I have no idea.
Yeah,
I knew me and Chris were kind of tight. Zach was just kind of a flipper. I know now.
Yeah, right.
So I really don't know how. I would have targeted Colin just because he won before, and I knew coming in like he was kind of a big threat, anyways. So I would have gone for Colin, and maybe we would have pulled it off, but it was either probably gotta be like me or Chris that were on the chopping block. I was always on the chopping block. I tried making relationships, but nothing stuck. So
yeah, it was unfortunate, but yeah. So then we have our fourth challenge, and you guys lost again, Michael and Maddie. So again, that whole episode, it seemed like, you know, the easy vote was going Maddie again because, you know, you struggled a little bit in the challenge. But again, it seemed like it was another opportunity, like you said, Michael, earlier, for someone to make a blindside. And they completely look like they kind of blindside you, Michael. So, I mean, Maddie, if you first want to kind of talk about what the reasoning was for going for Michael, I know it got aired where you and Christian kind of brought up that this past season, Christian said that Michael was a little untrustworthy. So, yeah, I mean, because you were on the journey that round and came back with that anyone but you idol too, I believe.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously the reason why I voted you, Mike, is so I wouldn't have been voted off. It kind of like that was one of the first things, but yeah, also kind of like with untrustworthiness, I didn't really know you that well, or like I knew like how you played in like the last season, but that was about it. So I was kind of going off that as well, and then I did, as you can see from the episode, well, the past one that came out, I did have an idol, but I couldn't use it for myself. So since I couldn't use it for myself, I was kind of in a position that if I am going to be voted off, that I'm going to have to try and put that vote on somebody else. Then at least I'd have one more round to kind of get through and try and go past, like get closer to the merge.
Yeah. Michael, what do you think went wrong there? I mean, you saw the episode, probably somewhat of what they said, but I mean, it seemed like it was going to be Maddie pretty cut and dry, and then
kind of shook on it. Yeah. Shook on it. Had a gentleman's agreement. No, I mean, I think it still probably would have been Maddie had she not had that advantage. I think that was like a huge factor for sure. But I think also I kind of put a target on my back by like the last round. I was very subtle and very quiet, but then just kind of orchestrated things like behind the scenes in very last second to take Matt out. So I can definitely see how like then that would kind of make people a little uneasy about me and kind of want to get me out, because I could easily do the same to them later on.
I think, well, from what I kind of think happened too, I think Christian and Hunter were like a little scared that you wouldn't be with them going forward, and that you would be someone that would get with other people to rally to get them out. I think that's partially why too. And yeah, I think Nate kind of just did it because he didn't want to be like the one person out of the majority, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was tough. I was pretty shocked he went out there too. Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like those 2 rounds in a row, like it was going to be Maddie, and that was pretty impressive, Maddie, that you were able to survive those 2 votes. Like, it seemed
honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
It took me a while, like after the game was over, to really process what happened, because I was really doubting myself and like how I played the game. Like rewatching what happened, like there was a lot of things that were thrown in my way, and obviously, I'm gonna admit, I did crap at the challenges. If I'm going to go back, I'm definitely working on that, because I definitely dragged the team down a lot from losing those challenges one after the other. But yeah, I guess I had to do what I had to do, and based on all of the other competitors with their strengths and just their experience in the game, I felt like I went as far as I could at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mike, it was just, yeah. I mean, I was shocked you went out there, and you got very close to making it back in there. But unfortunately, it fell short. And yeah, I mean, we'd love to have you back on in the future still. And yeah, I mean, I still feel like for some reason, Mike, that last season with you turning on with you saying Allie's name one time, not even really saying it, is still just haunting you. And then Christian's like, yeah, you got my girlfriend out. I guess I got to do it too. It's
it is. I know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Yeah, a bit of bad blood.
Yeah, I guess so. Guess we'll have to get you on a season that neither of them are on, eh?
Or get us all in one tribe. Surprise alliance maybe coming that way.
Us four, that'd be fun.
So what do you want to add, Richie?
Future alliance. Okay, also, one quick thing I want to say, Maddie, like, don't trash yourself with the challenges and stuff, because let me say from personal experience, I got to the end, won, like, the most challenges the entire season. Guess what? I didn't fucking win. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many challenges you win in Survivor. What matters is, did you play the best game, socially and strategically, to get the votes you need on your side? That's something I did not do. In my season, I got to the end. Did I win the most challenges? Absolutely. And I even made sure of it by guaranteeing that Corey wouldn't compete in that last challenge. But didn't work. I pissed off Michael. I pissed off Adam. Hold off on Sam Kenzie, wanted nothing to do with me. I didn't get the votes. So I think you being able to get the votes on your side every opportunity possible. Like, originally, if we had gone further in the game, we would have made the end together. Would you have taken my end? Probably, because everyone hates me. That's why they vote me out early. So, like, don't put too much on yourself. But also, if you do want to practice, like, Pong and stuff like that, like, hit us up, because, I love parties. Like, fun parties, Pong, I'll do it. I was practicing it the week before, too. It didn't even come in handy. I practiced for nothing, so.
Yeah, I will say, too, I know it kind of happened in Season 2 Cabin Fever that you played in, Richie, where some people were, like, really valuing if you could do well in a challenge or not.
PTSD is returning.
And I think, like, obviously in the real show, like, it's a lot different with survival, and, like, the challenges are way more intense and a lot different than ours. So I think in ours, like, people shouldn't really factor that in that much. Unless I got though, when the tribes were really small, it was like worrisome. Like, okay, if we get down to like, if we keep losing, get down to like 3 people, like this is gonna be tough. But
well, I mean, sorry, I was going to say from my personal experiences too. Like, because that was the second time that I was on a 5-person tribe. The first being Targaryen tribe, which I'm not even going to get into right now. It's a longer story of how much we sucked there, but yeah, for the Grizzlies, for Cabin Fever, that was just a train wreck from the start. Like, because it's like they have such, and I was even telling you about this back then too, that even though it was kind of like a fresh, like, new outlook than what we normally had, or people are just like game heavy right off the bat, that like challenges and all that is fresh at the start, but it's also like, again, like it's not the only thing whatsoever.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, also shout out to Dan for sticking with me that season, like the only one who didn't screw me over in Cabin Fever.
yeah. All right, well, moving on then, there's 10 people left, and we had another tribe swap, a double tribe swap. Alex, Maddie, what'd you think when we did another tribe swap right after already a different one?
It was good to get Nate back on my side. I thought we were good since we had the 4 AIA people back in my tribe, me, Hunter, Zach, and Nate. So I think because I tried to get them all back together, thinking like, hey, we can probably make it to the merge if we just stick together, and if we go to tribal vote, Colin. But I didn't know that Hunter and Colin had like a winners alliance going on, so that was my mistake.
Yeah. So then we get into that 5th round, and Maddie's tribe loses the challenge again. That was a little rough as well. But again, it didn't really get brought up that we should vote Maddie out because of the challenge, which was awesome. And there were a lot of big players on that tribe. It was Christian, Emma, and Cody, and then it was 2 new people in Chris and Maddie. And Chris went on the journey. He had an idol that he found, and then he got another advantage there. And it seemed kind of like the whole plan was to go Chris, Maddie. And then obviously we had one of the craziest tribal councils ever with 3 idols played. But before we get to that, like, what was your kind of like thought process to go for Chris? I remember when you were like writing your vote down, you're like, I really think I need to make a big move, but I think I'll wait one more round.
Yeah. So first off, the blind side was definitely real. At the time, I did not realize that when there's 5 people left in a tribe, that's typically when people, if you have an idol or an advantage, you use that. I was not aware of that. So that was kind of a part of the surprise there. But I believe Chris, when we were doing the challenge, also messed up. I have a foggy memory when it comes to this stuff, so feel free to correct me. But I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to vote Chris, and also because, again, my name was being thrown around. I also did really bad in that challenge. I could not get those cups knocked over for the life of me. And also, again, it helped that Chris went on his journey during that time as well, but then it didn't help when he got an idol. And one thing that I kind of wish I did differently in that round is check back with Christian after Chris told me that he was going to vote me out. And when he did tell me that, I first thought, okay, maybe that's him coming up with a plan to kind of like deceive Chris. But no, he was telling the truth. And I wasn't thinking at the time because I thought, okay, this is what he's going with. This is the plan. We're still going to vote Chris. But I should have checked back with him and just double checked to make sure my name wasn't going to be voted out.
It's so tough with 5 people like that because there's only so many names you can do. And then, when 3 out of the 5 people play an idol, the only way, Maddie, you would have survived that tribal would have been if you or somebody else voted for Cody and it was like a 1-1 tie between you two. And on the revote, I do think Cody might have went out there, to be honest. I think, or it might have been another tie. It might have been another tie, and then you would have been, and then I don't even know what would have happened. It could have got crazy, but I think, like you said, like if one person plays an idol and like that on a small tribe, it's like, okay, I might need to play mine. Otherwise, it could be me because there's not a lot of options. So, yeah.
And it did kind of screw me over, too, that everybody was playing their idols, and then Cody went for Christian to save him. And, at that point, I did have my idol. I could have gave it to Christian, say, like, hey, I think my name's going to be voted out. I want you to play this for me. And if that would have happened, I think at that point, maybe no one would have been voted out. I'm not sure how that would have turned out if that was the route that I took. And that he decided to follow through too, because that's the other thing. If I did give Christian the idol and he decided not to play it, well then at that point too, I'm also screwed if the votes stay the same.
Yeah, I mean, I do. If let's say you gave it to Christian and Christian did play it for you, yeah, nobody obviously like then it would have been like a default that Cody would have had to go out because nobody else could get voted for. So Cody would have went out because that's the only person you could vote for. So him playing his idol, but actually it would be tough because he would have played it for Christian, yeah, so he would have been out. So I mean Christian did like didn't want to vote you off because he said he had an alliance with you, but he did that in case something crazy would happen. That was the only reason he voted your name, it looked like, and it was a smart move because it saved Cody from getting out. And I mean it was a tough vote out, and I felt really bad for you because it was like there's really nothing you can do. That happened in season 2 with Matt as well, when there's a tribe of 4 people and 3 of the 4 people played idol. It's like, all right, well, yeah. Matt's out.
And that happened in Cabin Fever.
Yeah,
right. And at that point too, I wouldn't have blamed Christian for voting me out because he's trying to save his own himself. And I think let me restart. When I came back from voting, I did tell Chris. I don't know why I did this, but I told him to play his idol because I don't know what my thinking was. It might have just been spontaneous if I was trying to make a bigger move. I don't know exactly like the reasoning behind that, but I told him to play his idol thinking that he was going to be voted out and that I was going to be safe. I really don't know why I did that. I think, again, it was just on the whim, but I don't know if he played his idol because of that or if he was already deciding to play his idol. So that's also something I wanted to mention.
Like we said, Maddie, you couldn't really do anything. But yeah, you can kind of dive in again, when you told Chris to play his idol for himself.
So that was kind of just on the whim, I think, because when I was voting, I mentioned like I would like to have like my own move or like kind of step out. Because before that, I think like not that it's a bad thing to kind of go along with the masses, but if it was my first game, I would have liked to try and like take it in my own direction or kind of try and lead other people with me for like whatever decision I wanted to do. So that was kind of my start of it, even though I did end up getting voted off that round.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, Christian looked like he was really aligned with you, and it just was bad luck, and unfortunately went out there. It's just funny how, you were kind of the talk of the vote the last 2 rounds before that. You survived them, and then the craziest tribal ever, you just ended up being the odd person out. But
and another thing too, Cody did mention, I think it was before the votes were announced, that like he would have liked or was looking forward to playing with me or like working with me. So like it just gives me a little bit of comfort knowing that if I didn't get voted out, that I would have those opportunities to work with those 2 and potentially would have gotten further or getting past the merge.
Yeah,
they told me a lot about that too, like Cody specifically, and I think Hunter also said a bit here and there that they both really liked working with you in the game, and they both had a lot of respect for the game you played during it, so, like, you definitely would have had a lot of options going forward, like, even if, like, I don't know, I just feel like you definitely would have had a lot of options going further, like, so.
You kind of get that from watching the videos and, like, having just people talk about it. It's like it feels nice knowing that there was more potential than what ended up happening.
Yeah, so then moving on, so Maddie was out then, so then we had our last challenge before the merge, and it was kind of the luck of your draw challenge. Basically, if I rolled the dice and it was your number, you had to try to make a bounce pong ball into your cup, and Alex, your tribe missed every opportunity they had. Obviously, the other tribe that won the challenge got a lot more opportunities, but the opportunities you guys got, you guys didn't capitalize on it. You didn't even compete in it. And that was a twist too, where it wasn't obviously like I did want to speed things up, but it was, I had that plan right before the merge to do one really quick round because there's going to be no journey that round. And it kind of cost you, Alex. It sounded like even with some of the people when they went to vote were saying like, yeah, I want to go for Colin. So it seemed like the plan was Colin, but ultimately it was ended up being 4-1 for you.
Yeah. So I well, for the challenge, I decided to sit out. That might have cost me a little bit. I don't know, because everybody else wanted to play, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll back out on this one because, I'm not sure how good I am at bouncing ball in the cup. So I set out that one. Then after the challenge, a lot of it didn't air, of course, just because it was fast paced and, of course, didn't want to reveal too much. But it was me and Nate I decided to put it on Colin because no one else was really talking with us, just because they're all trying to scramble around. Then we grabbed Zach before, and then said, "Yeah, we're going with Colin to talk to Hunter about it." That probably cost us a little bit since Hunter was kind of close with Colin, but we wanted to put it on Colin just because, me and Nate were close. We heard on the recording Hunter and Zach were close. Got to go for the middleman in Colin. Try to make it easy. Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you probably saw it, but Hunter even said when he went to vote that he said he's fine with Colin going out, but he's like, in case Colin comes back in the comeback challenge, which is smart because Colin maybe could have won it, I'm going to vote for Alex because, he thought that him and Colin would vote for you, Alex, and he thought for sure that you, Nate, and Zach were voting Colin. And I'm not sure why Nate didn't vote for you. I think someone must have told him. Wait, Richie. I think someone must have told him that it was going to be you, and he probably didn't want to be out of the votes. So I don't know what really happened there because nothing really got recorded in the album for the videos for the season.
Yeah, because Nate, I think it said, it's either me or Alex, so might as well go with Alex since he didn't want to give voted out, which, fair enough. So that's really all. Really, it's just bad luck.
We're going to add Richie?
Yeah, I was just going to mention this. Like I mentioned before, Hunter found out way before. Me and him were talking about the game here and there. Neither of us knew Colin was going to be in there. But I had a really weird inkling. I was like, if Colin's going to come back this season, it's the perfect time for him to come back. And then when we were talking about it, we were not sure. We're like, hey, if Colin comes back, do we get him out before Merge or after Merge? And then I think it was me, or I want to say it was me, that was like, well, Colin could win the comeback. Colin could win the comeback, and I just think it's kind of funny that was also on Hunter's mind because, totally was never on anyone else's mind either. So I just want to call that out there.
Jeez, a lot of pregame planning didn't work out for you, Richie. Guess you didn't need to do that at all.
When does it ever work out for me, Devin?
Maybe you shouldn't do it then.
When does anything work out for me?
Maybe
outside of game 2, not in the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a tough vote again, Alex. When it's smaller tribes like that, we had a really good number of people for the season. I always think 14 is perfect, but when it's less than 6 people on a tribe, it's really hard to maneuver. And, Nate did kind of vote out of, self-preservation to not go for you. To go for you. But I think it really kind of came down to Zach. I'm not sure why he didn't go for Colin either. It seemed like he was on board for it, so...
Yeah.
All it would have took is just it. I think honestly it was like a coin flip between you guys. I could have easily saw Colin going out there if it seemed like that's what they wanted to do, but they didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if we had more time, we could have narrowed it down better. But just bad luck on that end. But we could have easily got out Colin on that one.
Yeah. So then, so we had the 6 people out then. Announced that the 8 remaining were the Merge and that one person would be joining them. We had 2 heats of 3 using dominoes to create a line and then push them and fall into the cup. We've done it before. And Alex, you look like you're going to win yours, and dude, Tyler kind of
those third-grade domino games we played at school, that really helped out, dude. I was fast fingers on the table. But the thing is, the wind was killer that day, so I was trying to kind of caress a little bit so the wind would hit. My second time it went down, the wind took it, so I had to kind of nudge Tyler to put it more forward, but it just didn't work out, and Matt kind of just snuck in at the last second and got it.
Yeah, it was tough. Richie, you're kind of struggling in yours, and it was falling down a lot.
I think it was kind of funny because you even called me out for in the middle of the challenge. I tried to sneak. There was one part on my table that had this weird indent that I don't know if the other tables had this. It was this weird indent. where no matter how
Sounds like
many
an
paper
excuse.
dominoes I used to like stick it up, it would just fall over. And I tried slipping it in sideways. You were like, "No, you can't do that, Richie." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know exactly what I was trying to fuck around and do." Like,
Yeah,
that challenge was demoralizing. Like, I was really hoping for like a physical challenge because I'm like, I'm pissed. I want to run. I want to punch a punching bag or something. Like, let's go dig in sand. Like, I was so hoping for a physical one, and you guys pulled the dominoes. I'm like, fuck me in the ass. Like, I'm not gonna win this shit. Like, I was screwed the second the dominoes came out. Like, that's when I'm like, I'm not winning this shit. I'm just gonna be a diva and a drama queen now.
Can we talk about Richie's vote off, like, right after he got voted off? Because I want to talk about that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which part of it?
Just what was your head at that moment? Because
I
was trying to laugh at that moment because it was kind of
Go to hell.
out of pocket. That I was like, okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh, okay. No,
Mhm.
I was really just pissed off the circumstances, the fact that I got voted off again early on. It's like, for me, like, I'm like a really competitive person. I mean, growing up, a lot of people, and partially it's because of the autism too. Growing up, people would always tell me, like, I can't do this. I'm never going to be able to do this. They told me I wouldn't make it through high school. I wasn't even going to make it through most of elementary school, I think at one point is what someone said. And it's like, whenever people like screw me over early, it's part of me in the back of my head. It's like, okay, they're saying I can't do this. And for me, I'm like, no, I want to go out and prove to them that I can go out and do this. And I was so pissed off. I'm so tired of being voted up. That's why I literally said that I'm taking a long break, because I'm just so annoyed with being voted off first and second. Like, they always act like it's the best move, but then you get 4 or 5 troubles down the line. Guess what? That annoying person you voted off round 1 or 2 would have been your number. So how does that work out for y'all bitches out there who were out of numbers at the merge? I can think of a great example. Arthur could have used that number as the merge. Would have helped his ass, but he voted me out. Let's see. Matt could have probably used it the next round, but it was so much better for him to get me out, wasn't it? Back in Wisconsin 1. I could probably go on and on, but it's like, it's for me, I don't like being told I can't do it. You know, it's me, like, I want to be able to go out there and show people that I can do it. I'm just as good as everyone else. And I feel like every time I play, I get penalized for playing. Like, I feel like everyone gets so mad at me. They're like, oh, well, he's a liar. Like, you go back to, it's even like seen in Legends, where an M Flat says, like, he listens to what everyone says, and then he makes the best choice off of what he hears. I'm like, that's what everyone does. So you're penalizing me for playing the game, and that's what everyone does. And for me, it's annoying. Like, it's just annoying to be voted up early every single time. Yeah. So I'm hoping that taking a long, long break before even considering on coming back will at least help a little bit. But to answer your question, it's the circumstances. Like, it's annoying when it happens, like, the first or second round 3 times in a row. Like, it's just so annoying.
Yeah, I felt it too with going out right before the merge.
Well, you at least made the swap. You at least have that. You
at least have that.
Like, I didn't have to go travel for like 5 rounds.
And that's good. That's a good, nice relaxer.
Yeah, no, and I always do try to preface out, like, there is some shit I do, like, yeah, like, obviously I will be bitter and pissy about certain things, but there's also a lot of things I will do just as, like, for entertainment purposes, or, like, just for drama, or, like for joke drama, not, like, real drama outside the game. Like, obviously I would never want to cause shit like that, but...
Yeah, let's get back to the finishing, talk about the challenge, and then we'll talk about all your guys' journeys and stuff. But yeah, so, and then Maddie, it was a little tough for you. It looked like the dominoes too. I mean, what was your thought process when you were going too?
I think I thought I was doing okay. I think I was just a bit slow compared to the other people in my heat. I think if the speed was a little faster, I could have at least gotten a couple tries in before somebody got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, Michael, what was your key to getting it to advance to that final heat? Because Michael and Matt ended up winning their heats to advance to the final phase of the comeback challenge. So what was kind of your strategy that you think was able to help you, beat everybody in your heat?
Yeah, for me, it's like I watched so many people, like, you had it all set up, like 80, 90%, and then it would fall over. So it wasn't so much about being, like, the fastest, even though, I mean, obviously the fastest person does win, but it was just about taking your time to, like, really set it up and just, like, rather than having to start over again. So I just did, like, slow and steady, and I said it helped playing Legos growing up because it was like setting up Lego minifigures or something like that. But No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad. I wish that was like the only part of the challenge. I would have been ecstatic, but
yeah, going on off that, I mean, then Matt and Michael had a face-off. They just had to do a kind of a challenge earlier in the season where they had to balance white things on top of each other with the grabber, and I mean, Matt ended up winning it pretty slow, pretty closely. You guys were both had it multiple times, and they kept falling over. I mean, it just happened to be such a windy day that you really had to be perfect with it and just kind of get lucky. So how did it feel doing that and just coming so close to getting back in the merge?
yeah, I could taste it at one point. Like Matt even said, oh, congrats, hope you do good. Like coming back because his like collapse, and I was like one away or something. But yeah, I had a few times where it's like, oh, I was one or two away, and he had nothing, and it would collapse. And a couple times it looked like he had it, didn't work. So I mean, yeah, it was totally like neck and neck, and like by the end of that, like my hand was like shaking from it because it was just like 5 minutes straight of just like high stakes pressure.
Yeah, it was a good one, and yeah, I mean, a physical one would have been cool, but I like doing ones that it's kind of mental and just really concentration, kind of because it does take your will. But yeah, so Matt's back in the game, making it 9. These 4 great contestants didn't make it, along with Tyler. So to kind of close things off, kind of can go one at a time. You guys just kind of want to talk about your journey a little bit, what you thought about it, if you enjoyed it, and then maybe one thing you would do differently if you came back to try to make it further in the game. And again, I mean, obviously Richie got out a little earlier than you guys, but even though you didn't make the merge, think about how many rounds you lasted. I mean, it was a smaller merge, like it was a lot more rounds in the pre-merge. So yeah, I mean, so whoever wants to start it off, we'll go with Richie maybe based on how you got out.
Yeah, one last thing I was going to say, I think I briefly mentioned to you guys before that I'm Redemption Island, I was trying to do a lot, and I think, all of you guys obviously know this, but, like, I was trying to, like, I was thinking to myself, like, the previous season, Allie was playing the game from the other side of Redemption Island. She gathered information, sorry to give you PTSD, Mike, she was getting information, found out that Mike got her out, and she's like, okay, I'm going to go back and get him out. I'm thinking to myself, hey, Redemption Island's a perfect place to do this. We can gather information, make a game plan for whichever of us gets back in the game, and then we can try to play the game in a sense. I don't want to say play the game for all of us who got out before the merge, but it's like, if we have the information, we have the intel, why not share it, make a plan, and then boom, and it's kind of a shame that Matt, the only one who wouldn't really talk to me, was the one who got back in. Literally most of his time was spent checking his sports scores and random shit that ultimately, is whatever. I have my own opinions on that, but I'm not going to spoil shit. But, yeah, it was just kind of funny because I was trying so hard to play the game from the other side. Like, you guys saw me talking to Mike. There were more conversations I had with Tyler on and off camera. I don't really know if this got on camera. I want to say it did, where Maddie, after you got voted off, I tried talking to you. Did we ever talk, Alex, or no? I think I was about to, but then we didn't have enough time. I know I made like a joke remark,
but that's really it, though.
No, you didn't. No, what I said, no. I know what I told you. I was being an ass as a joke, as a pure joke. I looked up at you and I clapped slowly, and I'm like, did voting me off help you much? I did not tell you that.
A little bit the F word. I was like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, we.
I didn't know. I didn't say that. No. If I said that, you wouldn't know. Did we ever really talk about redemption stuff? Because I think I was about to, but I don't think we had enough time. No, because I think I was going to catch Billy, you and Maddie in.
I think I kind of went straight into the challenge from when you got out, to be honest.
Yeah, basically. Well, yeah, I think we.
I think it was about to. So it's like. Yeah, but it's like, I literally remember, like, after it got down to Mike and Matt, I looked at Mike, and I was like, Mike, like, you gotta win this, man. I'm rooting for you, Mike. Like, it was him versus Matt. I'm like, Mike, you got this. You can do it. And then they're like, this little thing. And I remember a bunch of us thought Mike was gonna win. And I'm still kind of shocked Matt won it. But, good for him. Took him 3 times in a comeback, but he finally made the merge. Good for you.
Yeah. So, what's one thing you would do differently next time when you said it's way long down the road?
Not align with Hunter? No, oh my gosh. I think it's kind of funny because I was going to make this joke earlier about Matt, that one of the biggest problems that me and Matt have is that we open our mouths too much and we talk a little too much when we shouldn't. And I mean, honestly, yeah, I feel like I definitely keep my mouth shut a little bit more. Like, why do I not? I guess really just keeping it shut a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, it is one of the reasons I am taking this long break. Like, when I said that at the end that I'm taking a long break before even thinking about coming back, it's because I want more time to look at it, analyze it, and just kind of be like, the fuck just happened the last year? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to take a lot of time to analyze it, see exactly where it went wrong. I don't want to say it's luck, because I feel shitty saying it's luck, because then I feel like I'm just avoiding responsibility of my game in general. But I know it's partially my mouth. I mean, I've had people tell me flat out that me fending for Alex was what made them want to go for me, because I didn't want to go for Nate. They're like, Nate's strong! Like, yeah, the strength totally helped you in Tribe Swap, didn't it?
I do wonder if you didn't, like, say anything when they said that, what would have happened, to be honest. I'm not... Maybe they might have still just turned it on you at the end of the day, but I would have been curious if maybe.
I also wonder what would have happened if you would have swapped Zach with Emma or something like that, or like Zach with Christian.
I don't think it would have. I'll be honest.
I'm joking.
I will say
Christian. Oh my god.
Christian maybe would have aligned with you for a round, but I don't think Emma would have. And honestly, Richie, like I'm pretty sure I gave
Emma
you.
told me flat out.
I was gonna say I'm pretty confident, dude. I gave you like a really good opportunity with your tribe, and it just didn't work out. Out of all the combination of people, because
I know Christian and Emma both basically told me that if me and them were on the same tribe, that we were to work together. Is what they both told me. So,
well, I was trying to.
Because they both said they wanted to work with me too. So
I was trying to do 3 and 3. I was trying to do the 2 winners on each tribe, and then between you and Emma on each tribe. And I knew for sure Colin wouldn't have wanted to work with you, Richie, and I knew Cody probably didn't either. And I knew Hunter maybe didn't, but I thought there was a chance he would have, and so that's kind of why. So
this is the first time I'm hearing of Cody not wanting to work with me.
I said I don't know if he would have. I said
that's
maybe. I don't know if he would have.
I thought you said he wouldn't have, and I thought you said he wouldn't have, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. This is the first time I'm hearing of this.
No, I said Colin probably wouldn't have, and Cody. I mean, he was on your tribe. Did he work with you? No. So.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't have been surprised. I mean, I knew going in, when I saw Colin there, I was like Winter War, PTSD flashbacks, I was already kind of mentally prepping, like, shit, if we're in the same tribe, he's gonna probably gun for me. Like, I had a weird vibe about it. I'm like, if we're on the same tribe, Colin might not want to. He might think I think I had a confessional about this at one point, that he would have tried to, like, gun for me right away, which... Who knows if he actually would have or not? I don't know, but I definitely would have been worried if I would have been on the same tribe. But
all right,
I guess being more open, keeping my mouth shut, stuff like that for my next game. Whenever it is, probably like 5 years from now. I don't know.
All right, we got to move on. Thanks, Rich. We got to move on to the next person here. So the next person that ended up getting out was you, Michael. I mean, talk about your journey a little bit and what you might have done differently to survive. I mean, you played pretty well up to that point, I thought, so...
Yeah, I think I played well. Like I was able to execute like a swift move there, taking Matt out. But I think it's kind of like you don't want to make yourself too much of a target by like kind of making it known you're one to make moves and stuff. So maybe just show I can be trustworthy a little more next time, and kind of not make as big of a target on my back.
All right, next person out was Maddie again. Definition of survivor, I would say, in the season, being the target on a lot of the rounds you were going to tribal and surviving them and making some pretty good alliances, and then obviously just kind of got out with 1 vote. 3 idols played, was either going to be you or Cody, and Christian did went self-preservation mode and went you instead of Cody. So you can talk a little bit about your journey and maybe what you would have done differently to maybe make it further, even though it was 1 vote that took you out only.
Yeah, I was definitely analyzing my game even after I was out. Like, I was taking notes on my phone. I was just watching the other folks. Some things I definitely would do differently would be in that last round. There were some small red flags that I should have paid attention to more, or like I'd went after. Definitely double checking with Chris. Big thing was the miscommunication. I think that was a huge, just something that happened that was a part of why I got voted out. I just said I was voting for Chris, and there was 2 Chris's on the team. I should have been specific. I should have said Chris and not, Christian or whatever. I think that was one of the main reasons. There was some confusion because of that. And maybe I should have been just a little bit bolder and talking to Christian and say, like, just, I want you to have this idol, which I couldn't play for myself, and if you really want to vote for me, you don't have to, if he was planning to vote for me and I gave him the idol, and I'll tell him, if you still want to vote for me, that's okay, but I'm giving you this idol to play for me in case the votes, make me go home. Yeah. I think if I was a little bit more bolder, that might have helped, and just more clear communication when it comes to deciding votes before tribal.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a lot of props too, Maddie, because, I mean, coming in as one of the only few new players and walking in, I know you said you watched a lot of our seasons, like, it had to be a little intimidating seeing a lot of big names, and obviously there's only 2 girls too, so you got to put that in consideration too of how well you played with, I think the odds were stacked against you, and you did very well, so definitely be proud of that. Yeah. And lastly, Alex, got as far as you can without making the merge, basically, man, and talk about your journey a little bit. What do you want to do differently? Didn't last season 2 you were 1 round short too?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I tried switching up a little bit. I wasn't trying to go for any of the big dogs. I tried kind of staying in the middle a little bit, try to kind of slowly work my way up into the ranks. But it worked a little bit for the first couple of votes, and then I kind of got a good rest for 5 rounds after that.
Yeah.
So biggest thing is I was kind of quieter on the new tribes. I was looking more for idols than actually trying to communicate with people, like Colin and Emma. That kind of for me in the long run. Next time I could probably work on trying to get more relationships along with the tribes than kind of searching for idols. But otherwise, yeah, I can always work on tidying up my game, making it more presentable to other people.
It's a tough game to make it far.
Yep.
I mean, obviously there's some players that come back and they make it far every time, but it's harder than you think, especially when I made it a longer pre-merge than normal. But man, I mean, all 4 of you played very well, and I'm happy you guys all played. And obviously, like in Survivor, there's just some luck involved. There's some uncontrollable things that happen, but I mean, if all you guys got, obviously, Richie, I probably won't ask you for a long time, like you said, anyways. But, I mean, would you guys all be interested in coming back down the road? Not maybe next season, but down the road?
Hell yeah.
Most definitely.
I still gotta make it to merger.
Same.
Yep. Gotta get to the merge.
I mean, eventually.
Yeah.
Break the curse,
Eventually, yeah. I will eventually definitely want to come back. Like, it's not like I never want to come back. I do want to come back and play. Just I'm kind of forcing myself to take at least a couple seasons off minimum to just get more of my life together and actually see what the fuck is going on. So, definitely down the road, 100,000%, because I think you know me. I love coming back every single time, and I appreciate coming back every single time, Much love. Thanks.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you all guys want to have a final word, go ahead. If not, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on our podcast. The merge is about to start now. Coming Thursday, episode 7. So it will be an exciting finish, and it's going to be pretty wild. There's some crazy stuff that happens. So, if any of you guys want to add anything, go ahead. If not, no worries.
I just want to say, for anyone who's watching and who may happen to be a girl, just give it a try. Everybody's friendly. I had a great time despite doing okay in some parts, but just give it a try and you won't regret it. And also, I'm happy to return whenever that would be.
I want to bounce off of that. Anyone who's watching, I know there's a lot of people I've talked to, some who, do have autism, some who don't have autism, some who are all over the place with their experiences. Regardless, play the game. It's super fun, no matter how far you make it. Yeah, it sucks getting voted off early, but you can at least say you played. That's something not a lot of people get to really say they do. And it's so much fun, and it's one of the most unique experiences you will ever have in your life. Definitely play, definitely join. It's so much fun. And yeah, I'll pass it to someone else now.
I'll bounce off you then. For sure, yeah, dude. If you're a fan of the game, if you just watch this channel, if you don't even know Survivor, play this. It's such a fun day to actually just get out and just actually like make new friends. And yeah, I'm open for any season. I love playing this game. It is such a fun day just to get out and just do something different rather than work and school. So I'm always open.
You want to add anything, Mike?
Yeah, no, I'll be back. We'll see as schedule permits. It was so much fun, and like even just like going from like season 3 to now this one, like it was such a like even more fun. I didn't even think that would be possible, and yeah, it's a good time. You know, great day. Get to be off your phone for the whole day, compete, right. Do fun stuff, meet new people.
That's what I was going to add too. I mean, I think obviously in our day and age and everything, just a lot of people, you know, obviously you kind of have to be for certain things, but be on your phone so much. So it's really nice to get off that and, you know, really socialize and just, you know, do something different. And it is tough to get some girls, Maddie, and I appreciate you saying that because I think a lot of girls are just intimidated or think they want to enjoy it. And, I mean, you've seen it and you've seen it yourself playing and in our past season. No one just like, you know, goes up just voting for a girl if there's a limited amount of girls. It's never really happened. And I mean,
that did happen last season because I was an asshole and did that.
Yeah, apparently. But you know, she came back, and I mean, Allie came back and won, and
yeah, exactly,
exactly. Like you can do it. I mean, there's some really like you know big guys and guys that might be intimidating, and you know, I don't think anyone was. You know, most people we get to come on, I know somewhat, so I don't really bring people that I think would be rude, and sometimes that could happen, but you don't have to, you know, be the bigger, you don't have to be like a stronger person ever to make it further in the game. You never know what you can do, because you might have a trick up your sleeve, you might be better at talking to people than them, so.
It's not just strength that can make you win, it's like the social game, it's the strategic, it's the puzzles, it's luck, like that plays a huge factor in it too, because sometimes, you know, just not your day or you're not good at a certain challenge. So strength isn't everything. And that can be said for, you know, social game isn't everything. Puzzles isn't everything. It's a combination of it all.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for the viewers for watching this. Merge episode 7 will be airing 6 p.m. on Thursday. We're just getting started. Some more crazy stuff to happen. A few episodes left till the finale. This was one of the most fun seasons I ever did. What's up, Kat? This is one of my favorite seasons that we put together, and I kind of came up with it all on my own, and I'm glad the way it turned out, and that's credit to you guys, too, for performing pretty well and making the most out of your guys' situations in the game. So that is it. That was our podcast with 4 of the 5 players that got out in the pre-merge. There are 9 players left now in the merge. Episode 7 is airing Thursday at 6 p.m. So if you guys aren't caught up, go watch all the past episodes. There's a lot of good content, a lot more time for people to talk than normal, and some new little twists with the journey and some different challenges and a new venue. You know, we've done all 4 seasons of Survivor Wisconsin in different places, which is cool. Don't know if we're going to be able to keep doing that every season at a different place, but thanks for watching and enjoy this teaser for the merge. See you guys on Thursday with episode 7.